I have very mixed feelings about New Year resolutions. When I was younger, I was so keen on making these New Year resolution lists like every single year. Like I would put them in my cupboard, I'll put them in my diaries, and I was also like low-key embarrassed about them, so like I would try to keep it hidden. Back then, I had a lot of passion, but perhaps I didn't have the right way to channelize it, which is why that passion sort of became exhausting. And then when I grew up, passion sort of became a negative thing because when I was younger, this passion wasn't really rewarding me. Like I was only feeling more exhausted because of it. And it wasn't my passion's fault. It was that there wasn't like a right balance of passion and of vision, perhaps. And then when you grow up, you have those skills, you have the vision, but passion seems to become like a negative thing. And then I went through a phase where I was like, who cares about New Year resolutions? Like, if I want to change, I can wake up today and decide to be a different person. And I agree with that. You don't have to wait around for the New Year's to become something different or like to start a new habit. However, it also doesn't hurt to like be part of something bigger. And if everyone's doing it, then why not? But I have aimed for a sweet balance, and that is I start my New Year prep in December itself, which is why I'm also releasing this podcast episode in November itself, because I want you guys to also prep for the new year with me in December itself. Now, why December? What's the logic? Let me explain. Now, everyone leaves their new habits for the 1st of Jan. And firstly, January is going to be way colder. It's already so cold. You will feel this immense pressure of starting something new on the 1st, and you might also be a little tired from your New Year Eve's party, if you know what I mean. So you could start something new in Jan, but the thing is, if you prep for it in December itself, you will already have like a good routine by January, and it'll just be nicer to set in. Like, for example, if your goal is to be more fit next year and you want to join the gym, instead of waiting for the 1st of Jan and then starting a workout, start in December itself, which is what I did last year. I started working out last year. And if you do that, number one, you will get enough time to like settle in so that by the time like the 1st of Jan comes around, you will already have a good routine. So give yourself time to settle in. Let December be like your rough work month, your homework month. You might need time to figure out what workouts are working for you. What are your goals that your trainers are asking you to focus on? You might need to prep in terms of get some things like workout apparel and like gym clothes and everything. So it's the perfect thing to use December as your prep month for Jan. If I have sold you on that idea, let me go further with this episode.
You're listening to Overthinking This by Oshin.
Hi guys, welcome to Overthinking This. My name is Oshin, and this is a podcast where all of us overthinkers, we come together and we talk about things that only overthinkers think about. And winters, New Year resolutions are all slightly heavy topics for overthinkers like us. So here I am to speak to you, to make sure that you and I are together progressing towards this new year with peace and calmness and lesser anxiety. Can I be honest to you guys? So far, I'm not feeling very passionate about like a very big change. I'm like, I don't want to like change my life or transform my life for this year. Touch wood, and I hope I don't jinx it because I've started feeling a little low. Like, I'm going to talk about this later, but perhaps in like a different podcast episode. But ever since like it got cold in the city I live, I've been feeling very uneasy, and I feel like completely different than how I was feeling. And I don't know why that's happening. It's probably the winters or whatever. But touch wood, very happy with how things are ending this year. So I don't really want to have like a major change. But I do want to have like things here and there I could work on, perhaps. So we're going to talk about that in this episode. And regardless of how big my goals are, and they aren't, I'm still going to do my prep work for December. Yeah, let's begin. So I'm basically going to give you a few things, like a few pointers that I think we can do together to have a good new year. Number one, do a little year in review for yourself. Now, I'm going to do a completely different podcast episode where I'm going to talk about like what happened this year to me, like what did I learn this year, what was good about it, what wasn't good about it, everything. That's like a separate episode. But for the sake of this episode, I think you guys should also do this. Now, I know it can be a little difficult to especially go back in time if things were a little difficult. So you don't have to force yourself to like process everything, but just think about like how the year was like. And if you, like myself, have terrible memory, then you can look at your like picture gallery, you can look at your journals if you've journaled somewhere. But basically you have to think about, number one, what are you grateful for this year, what has brought you happiness this year. Number two, your achievements. Give yourself credit for how much growth you've made. And the best thing would be, if you have your New Year resolutions from last year, look at them and think of like what has changed. Did you accomplish them? If not, like how much of your vision has changed. Number three, think about the lessons you've learned this year. That I think is really important, and it's also very fun to see how much you've grown in 1 year. I feel like you can literally change your life. You can turn your life around in a couple of months, and sometimes it happens through you. Sometimes it, like the universe plans out things for you, and a year is still like 12 whole months, and a lot happens. The second thing you're going to do for our December prep is think of your intentions for the next year. Like for the entire year in general, what is your intention? Like for me personally, my intention is to become more disciplined. See, I get things done on time, okay? I like working, I like doing things, but God knows I am a little lazy. I do leave things, I'm not lazy, but I do leave things like for the last minute. Like I need to be under a certain amount of stress to finish things, and it's been a little complicated. And I'm going to do a completely different podcast episode about like how to be more productive and whatever I've learned, because this is something that I definitely want to work on next year. I want to have like proper routines. I want to be more mindful of my time. I want to get more done. I don't want to compromise on my non-negotiable tasks. And so my intention is like, one, to become more disciplined, to be more mindful of my time, to make good use of my time. Number two, to focus on growth. I also want to like just enjoy love as it is. I think love should be a constant. And by love, I don't mean like touchwood, things are great, but I don't want to be like, I want to attract more love. What I mean is like, I want to radiate more love. I want to be more loving towards myself and to people around me. Number three, you think about who you want to be and who you don't want to be. Like, I want to be a woman who follows routines, who has her life together, who does not procrastinate. I know that I cannot become like a perfect being, but I can certainly be better. I want to be a woman who is disciplined, and I don't want to be someone who just lives every single day as if like I just want to get by, like I just want to finish this task and I'll finish this task later. No, like I want to actually live and thrive every moment. And if you want to enjoy life, the truth is you need to do your laundry first. In order to do things that you want to do, you have to first do things that you need to do, and that's very important. So I want to be more disciplined next year, and I don't want to be like someone who's just living by each day, like trying to pass time. The next fun thing you can do for like a December prep is think of your words for the year. Like, what is your word for the year 2025? Like, my words for the year are definitely discipline, growth, and love. It could be like growth for you. It could be like fitness or courage or freedom. Like, there are a lot of nice, interesting words that you can pick. Of course, depending on what your intentions are. The next fun prep activity can be making a vision board. Now, I actually made a vision board, I think in Jan or Feb of this year, and a lot of things that are on my vision board actually came true. And of course, your vision board like will not work on its own. You'll have to put in the work, but it's fun. It's interesting to like visualize and manifest better. But do not be too set on your ways as to how you're going to achieve what you want. Do not plan the steps, just plan what you want, and then just let the universe do its part. And you can either like make one on paper, you can print pictures, put it on a paper, put it on your wall, put it in your notebook. Or you can also do one that's like digitally available. I made one on Canva this year. I think you can also make one on Pinterest itself now. You can make collage boards in Pinterest, and that makes it easier because I literally pick all my pictures in Pinterest. And the basic thing to do is like just go on Pinterest, look at like your aesthetics, your mood boards, look at what you want, and don't be scared and afraid to like ask for the biggest and the best of things. Now, the last and the most important step of a December prep is you make a list of goals and then their corresponding habits. Now, what are your goals for 2025 and what habits do you need to inculcate for that? And then you start those habits from December itself. So, for example, one of my goals is to eat healthier in terms of I want to like be more mindful of what I'm feeding myself. So, for that, I need to start taking timely meals. Like, so far, my metabolism has just been like, one day it gets to do a lot of work, the other day, like, I'm like it's unemployed doing nothing. So, I need to stop this surprise. You don't know what's coming and how much is coming in today. Like, I want to have timely, good meals. I want to have balanced meals. And I think it's better that I start that prep in December itself because I don't know about you guys, but it takes me a lot of time to like digest healthy food. My body is not very kind to healthy food. I kid you not. There was a time where I started taking like these detox ABC juices, and I had one like once, and I cannot tell you how terrible of a stomach ache that gave me. So it's going to be a process. And another goal of mine is to do more hair care and skin care. I haven't really been focusing on my hair and skin much, and it's showing. I don't need to do the talking for that. So I really want to focus on like oiling my hair more often. I want to get some nice hair masks. I want to get some serums and just see what my skin needs. Like, do I need retinol? Do I need like salicylic acid? I am going to do all that prep, and I'm going to like buy stuff accordingly in December so that by Jan I already have a nice skincare routine. You guys are understanding why December is important for the prep, right? And like why I'm literally making this episode for the both of us, like literally a month before. Number 3, my goal is to do the podcast more seriously. Boy, have I made this goal like every 3 months, and I start uploading episodes and then I disappear, which I hope doesn't happen now. And it'll be really embarrassing to like I'm sitting here and giving you guys all this yarn and then I suddenly like disappear myself. So my goal is to upload weekly episodes, and which is why, my friends, I'm starting from December itself. Next is to read more. I love reading. I have a beautiful collection of books. In fact, I also want to do a podcast episode, in fact multiple, where I talk about books to you guys. But lately I haven't been reading much, so I want to make it a habit. I think in December itself I'm going to start reading every day before bed, or like whenever I'm on a metro or anything. Whenever I have time, I want to focus on reading more. There are so many nice books that I'm yet to read. And of course, the last goal of mine is to be more disciplined and to make good routines. So I'm going to start in December, and I've been prepping up, like I've been thinking of what methods could work best for me, which I will also share with you guys in another episode. But I absolutely love talking to you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please let me know what you thought of it. If there are thoughts that you want to share, if there's suggestions you want to share. Firstly, I love reading your comments and your DMs about the podcast. Like, I read all of them. Such beautiful things you guys say about the podcast. It makes me so happy to read your genuine reviews. Like, you can tell when I read those comments, I can tell that you guys actually listen to these podcast episodes and you receive them how I want you to receive them. So I absolutely love that. So please, if you have something to say, always feel free to DM me. Follow me on Instagram. Follow the podcast on Instagram. All the socials are mentioned in the description below. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow on Spotify. Join the Overthinkers Club. I'm sure you guys will love it. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for giving me your time. I'll see you soon. Chalo. Bye.
You're listening to Overthinking This by Oshin.